This is my year. I have said this before. This is my year. And sometimes it was not. But this time felt different because I was different. I stopped waiting for the year to change me. Dramatic moments. I decided to change how I showed up. I did not chase luck. I built habits. Slowly, my year began to listen. Lesson 1. A year changes when you do. I used to think a new year had power on its own. I believed that when the calendar changed, my life would change too. I waited for January to bring energy, motivation, and clarity. Sometimes it did. Most times, it did not. I learned something important. A year does not change you. You change the year. Time passes whether you act or not. Days move forward even if you stay still. A new year gives you space, not direction. Direction comes from your choices. For many years I said the same words. This is my year. I said them with hope, but not with action. I wanted things to improve, but I did not change how I showed up. I waited for confidence. I waited for motivation. I waited for the right mood. Waiting did not work. This year felt different because I stopped waiting. I stopped asking what the year would give me. I started asking what I would give to the year. I chose to show up differently. Not perfectly, just intentionally. Some days, the change was small. I woke up on time. I finished what I started. I rested without guilt. These actions did not feel heroic, but they were honest. I noticed that when I acted differently, my days felt different. The year did not magically improve, but my relationship with it changed. I felt more involved, more responsible, more present. A year changes when you take ownership of your actions, when you stop blaming time and start using it, when you stop hoping for transformation and start practicing it. This lesson taught me power. Not power over life, but power within myself. I realized that I could shape my experience through daily behavior. Some days were hard. I failed. I doubted myself. But even on those days, I knew something had changed. I was no longer waiting for the year to save me. I was working with it. A year becomes meaningful when you engage with it, when you stop being a passenger and become a participant. This lesson stayed with me. If I wanted this to be my year, I had to act like it. Not once, not loudly, but consistently. This year did not change because it was special. It changed because I showed up differently. And that is the truth. If you want this to be your year, do not wait for time to do the work. Step into it, shape it, live it. Lesson 2. Consistency builds confidence. For a long time, I believed confidence came first. I thought I needed to feel strong before I could act. When I felt unsure, I waited. When I felt afraid, I paused. That waiting slowly weakened my belief in myself. This year, I learned that confidence does not arrive before action. It grows after action. It is built through consistency. I started doing small things every day, not big goals, not dramatic changes, just simple actions I could repeat. Some days I felt motivated. Other days I felt tired. But I showed up anyway. At first, nothing changed inside me. I still felt unsure. I still doubted myself. But I noticed something important. Each time I showed up, even quietly, I kept a promise to myself. Those promises added up. Every small action became proof. Proof that I could try. Proof that I could continue. Proof that I could rely on myself. Consistency taught me trust. When you trust yourself, confidence follows naturally. You stop asking if you can do it. You know you can try. I also learned that consistency is not about perfection. Some days I missed my routine. Some days I did less. But I returned. That return mattered more than a perfect streak. Confidence does not grow from never failing. It grows from knowing you will come back. This year, I stopped chasing motivation. I stopped waiting to feel ready. I focused on doing what mattered, again and again. Over time, my confidence changed. It became quieter, steadier. I did not need excitement. I did not need approval. I trusted my process. Consistency also protected me on hard days. When life felt heavy, my habits carried me. I did not need to decide what to do. I followed what I had practiced. That practice gave me strength. This lesson stayed with me. If you want confidence, do not wait for it. Build it, one small action at a time. This year became mine because I showed up consistently. And that consistency became belief. Lesson 3. Discipline is self-respect. For a long time, I thought discipline was punishment. I imagined strict rules, pressure, and no freedom. Because of that, I avoided it. I chose comfort instead. I told myself I would be disciplined when I felt ready. This year taught me a different meaning. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is self-respect. When I respected myself, I showed up even when it was uncomfortable. I did not wait for a perfect mood. I honored my time. I protected my energy. I did what I said I would do. Discipline did not make my life smaller. It made it clearer. With structure, my days felt calmer. I knew when to work and when to rest. I stopped wasting energy on decisions that did not matter. Self-respect means keeping small promises. It means not abandoning yourself when things feel hard. Each disciplined action was a message to myself. You matter. I noticed that discipline reduced stress. When I avoided tasks, they followed me all day. When I faced them, even briefly, my mind felt lighter. Discipline also taught me boundaries. I learned to say no to distractions. I learned to stop overcommitting. These choices protected my focus and my growth. This lesson changed how I saw freedom. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. Freedom is choosing what supports your future self. When I practiced discipline, I felt proud. Not loudly proud, quietly proud. That pride came from integrity, not results. Discipline does not mean being hard on yourself. It means being honest. It means choosing what helps you grow, even when it feels uncomfortable. This year became mine because I treated my time and effort with respect, and that respect shaped everything else. Lesson 4. Setbacks don't cancel the year. Halfway through the year, things did not go as planned. I missed days. I lost focus. I felt tired again. Old doubts returned, and a familiar thought appeared in my mind. Maybe this is not my year after all. In the past, this was where I gave up. One bad week felt like proof that everything was ruined. I believed progress had an on and off switch. If I failed once, I thought I had failed completely. This year, I learned something important. A setback does not erase a year. It only pauses a moment. Life is not a straight line. It moves forward, then bends, then moves again. Setbacks are part of that movement. They do not cancel growth. They test it. I stopped using mistakes as a reason to quit. I used them as information. Why did I slow down? Was I tired? Was I overwhelmed? Was I asking too much of myself? These questions helped me adjust instead of stop. I learned that restarting is a skill. You do not need to start from zero. You start from experience. Everything you learned before still belongs to you. When I returned after a setback, I felt stronger. Not because I was perfect, but because I did not disappear. I stayed present. I continued. Setbacks also taught me compassion. I learned to speak to myself gently. Harsh words did not help me move forward. Understanding did. This lesson changed how I measured success. Success was no longer about never falling. It was about how quickly and kindly I returned. Some days were still hard, but they did not define the year. They were just part of it. This year became mine because I did not quit when things went wrong. I paused. I learned. I continued. And that made all the difference. Lesson 5. Claiming your year is a choice. I learned that saying, "This is my year," is not a wish. It is a choice, a quiet one, made again and again. You do not claim a year with words. You claim it with behavior. For a long time, I believed a good year depended on luck, on timing, on other people. When things went well, I felt grateful. When they did not, I felt powerless. This year, I chose a different approach. I chose responsibility. Responsibility does not mean blaming yourself. It means owning your actions. It means deciding how you respond when life surprises you. That decision belongs to you. Claiming my year meant choosing intention over impulse. When I felt distracted, I returned to what mattered. When I felt tired, I rested instead of quitting. When fear appeared, I moved carefully instead of stopping. I noticed that the year responded to how I showed up. When I avoided things, problems grew. When I faced them, even slowly, they softened. This was not magic. It was cause and effect. Claiming your year does not require perfection. It requires presence. You must be present enough to notice what you are choosing. Are you choosing growth or comfort, honesty or avoidance, effort or delay? Some days I chose poorly. I wasted time. I avoided responsibility. But the choice to return was always available. That return is part of claiming your year. I also learned that claiming your year is personal. It does not need approval. It does not look the same for everyone. For some, it means building. For others, it means healing. Both count. This lesson gave me confidence. Not confidence that everything would go well, but confidence that I would respond well. That confidence changed how I faced challenges. By the end of the year, I realized something simple. The year did not become mine because it was easy. It became mine because I chose it daily. This year belonged to me because I showed up, returned after setbacks, and stayed intentional. And that is something anyone can do. If you want this to be your year, remember this. You do not need permission. You do not need perfect conditions. You only need to choose today and choose again tomorrow. That is how a year becomes yours. A year does not belong to you because of luck, timing, or perfect plans. It becomes yours because of daily choices. This year taught me that progress is not about never failing. It is about staying present, returning after setbacks, and respecting yourself enough to continue. Consistency builds confidence. Discipline protects your growth. Setbacks teach adjustment, not defeat. When you understand this, time stops feeling like an enemy and becomes a partner. You do not need a perfect year to grow. You need an honest one. One where you choose intention over impulse, responsibility over avoidance, and patience over pressure. Claiming your year does not mean controlling everything. It means responding thoughtfully to whatever comes. It means staying engaged with your life instead of waiting for it to improve on its own. If this year feels difficult, it does not mean it is wasted. Growth often happens quietly, through effort that no one sees, and that effort matters. This year became mine because I showed up with honesty, and any year can become yours the same way. If this story reflects how you want to live, take a moment and pause. Ask yourself what one choice you can make today that respects your growth. Write "my year" in the comments if you are claiming this year with intention. Let it be your quiet promise to yourself. Subscribe to LinguaTales for simple English stories that help you learn, reflect, and grow. One meaningful step at a time. This can be your year. Start choosing it today.